Well, here's Melissa Wu. We're going to talk about the synchro in just a moment, which was pretty tight, but let's talk about your individual platform performance this morning. Melissa, you must have been pretty happy with that, were you?
Yeah, I was really happy with how it went this morning. It was an improvement from my prelim and semi the other day, and it was a pretty high score as well, which I'm really happy with.
Your consistency seems to be there at the moment. You're really nailing it there.
Yeah, I've been training really hard building up to this competition. I've been working on a few different things, including strength and consistency, obviously, and I feel just really fit coming to this competition. I feel pretty well prepared, so I'm glad that my competition reflected the way I've been training.
You're coming back, of course, after having some time out through injury. How's everything feeling? How's the back feeling? And you're feeling like you're in a good place again now?
At the moment, I'm pretty good actually, injury-wise. I've been able to manage them quite well so far this year, so hopefully I can just keep doing the same and stay on top of it as I keep training throughout the year.
And of course, you've got World Cup as well as the Commonwealth Games, and it's pretty close together. Are you excited about the prospect of doing both of those events?
I am actually. It'll be a really good experience, a really good opportunity to be able to train really hard up to it and get really well prepared to make sure that I can maintain a high level of consistency and a high level of, I guess, diving and performing my dives well right through that whole period.
And of course, you've been to both the Commonwealth Games and Olympics, so people who've never been to Commonwealth Games before, tell them what it's like.
It's amazing. It's great to do a Commonwealth Games before an Olympics the way I did. It gives you the same sort of feel of what it will be like. And Commonwealth Games is just amazing. It's an opportunity to meet new people and make new friends, and you get to live in this village and have all your food provided. And yeah, obviously the competition is great too. The Commonwealth countries in diving are actually quite strong, so it's still a very tough competition as well.
Well, of course, we have to wait for the selectors to make their final decision, but you've done everything right so far, so good luck. And we've got Rachel Bugg here. She's finally going to join us. Thank you, Rachel. It's kind of you to drop in. Let's talk about the synchro, and that was pretty nerve-wracking. I don't know what it was like for you guys. What was it like for you, Rachel Bugg?
I was definitely nervous. I had a really bad competition this morning. It was 10-metre individual final, and I got a devastating score. I just didn't hit anything, so it was really hard to come back from that, but I knew I had to get up and pick myself up for not just me but for the team, so Melissa and I, and yeah, I was really excited to do synchro with her, and she makes me feel really good, so I couldn't ask for a better partner. And yeah, so I got a bit upset this morning and get ready for the second event.
So tell us a little bit about how you do that, because you look disappointed after this morning. How do you put that out of your mind and then focus on what's coming up?
Well, normally I don't even cry or get upset. I just, be devastated but put it behind me. And I was actually quite upset this morning, which is unusual for me. But I think it's because I know I've been training really hard and putting a lot of work into training. So, to do a performance like that, I feel like I've been let down. But I don't know, I just let it go. Had a bit of a sook, had a cry, spoke about it to like my coach and stuff, and then yeah, was like, well, that's over with, can't do anything about it now, so get on with it with synchro.
And the thing is, you then came out in the synchro and nailed 4 of the 5 dives really, really well, which just goes to show the depth of character, I suppose, that you've got, that you're able to pick yourself up and do that. You must be pretty proud of yourself.
I feel like that's a characteristic that I feel really lucky to have, that I can pick myself up and, get on with it. 4th dive in, didn't do a very good one, but you know what, it happened, and once again, can't go back and change it, so it was just up to doing the last dive and make sure I was nailing that and getting the best performance from that one. But yeah, I do feel proud. I feel like it's a very unique characteristic and not everyone has it, so I feel very lucky.
How did you feel, the pair of you, going into that last dive, knowing that, Emily and Lara have been diving together for so long and they're such a good synchro pair, and you knew they dived first and you knew they'd done a pretty good final dive. How did you guys feel about that?
Well, I looked at the scoreboard, but Rachel doesn't normally, so we didn't really discuss it, but she told me after that she looked too. So I knew going into the last one that we were a point behind, so yeah, I knew that we just had to pull off a really good dive, and hopefully that would seal it for us, and we both just focused on our own dive after the takeoff and really focused on the synchro as we took off, and I think that doing all that just, helped us to nail it.
And for people who are watching who aren't familiar with the synchro sport, do you know as soon as you hit the water how your partner's gone, or are you sort of just waiting till you come up hoping that your partner's also managed to nail the dive? Rach?
I don't know about Melissa, but I feel like synchro, I feel like if you hit at the same time, you have a rough idea that you've hit the water at the same time, but whether that is on their face, on their back or on their head, where they should be, you don't actually know because you can't see it. When I'm spinning in the air, I can see Melissa, so I have a rough idea of where she is. That probably.
Are you looking? I never see Rachel when I'm diving in the air. It's funny, yeah, you kind of know when you take off that you're diving at the same time, but yeah, you don't know until you hit the water or until you come up really how the other person's dive went, and we kind of always just swim in and look at each other and we're like, but yeah.
We both kind of swim up and we're like, how'd you go? And I mean, even after our fourth one, I came up and I was like, oh, sorry, Mel, like I didn't do a good one. She's like, that's all right, can't do anything about it. So it was a quick debrief from the coach about how bad my dive was, and then onward and upward for our next one, because yeah, like Mel said, I don't look at the scoreboard normally, but I caught a glimpse of it and went, oh my gosh, we're behind, and then just went, you know what, we know how to do back twist and we know how to do it well, and so got back into my zone again and off we went.
Well, you've done all the work now. It's up to the selectors, of course, but there's a chance there could be World Cup and Commonwealth Games for both of you, and maybe and hopefully Lara and Emily going to the Commonwealth Games as well, which will give Australia, I think, a pretty strong representation in the synchro, which is an event which Australia's always done well in, hasn't it? You've won golds in it before.
Yeah, I'd say it's one of our strongest events actually for diving in Australia. So yeah, it's great to have two really good teams competitive in that event.
All right. Well done, girls. Good luck.
Thank you.